secretly, you want to be there for more birthdays, sports events, and just family dinners spontaneously. But here's the problem. Moving closer to family sounds great, but what are you going to do with all the decades of friends that you have, routines that you have, favorite restaurants, and all the time that you've spent in your current home building that life? And then comes the next question. If we move to North Texas, where are we going to live? In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest mistakes people make when relocating closer to family. And I also want to figure out if Denton County could be the right fit for your next chapter. The one thing that I see with adult children is they're all focused on location, the proximity of where the adult children live. But the core of that issue is that the parents of the adult children that are moving, generally over 50 years old, they're dealing with a lifetime lifestyle transition. And that's not about the location. The conversation usually starts, Mom and Dad, just move here, right? And it sounds simple, but it's not. I mean, parents are just not leaving the house. They're leaving behind friends, a neighborhood that they may have lived in for decades, routines. It's a place that's familiar. And I believe that that's why so many relocation, they get delayed. And the hesitation, it's really not about the move itself, because all that's logistical and you can work that out. But the bigger question becomes, what is my life going to look like after I move? I went through that myself, from Dallas to a suburb in Flower Mound. I have family out here, but I wasn't sure what my life was going to look like moving out here. And this is where many people make a costly mistake. They focus entirely about being close to the family, and they forget whether they're actually going to enjoy living there. And let's talk about that, because I've seen it happen, and I saw it happen with somebody recently where they were only up here for maybe a year and they moved back from where they came. So let's try to avoid that here. What do you look for in a retirement relocation? Well, when you're evaluating an area, you pretty much need to ask yourself a few questions. Can I build a life outside of my family? Because keep this in mind, just because you love your family, the adult children still have jobs, the kids have sports, everybody's got their own routine, and everybody has busy lives, right? But the happiest people that I've seen and that I've worked with that have moved, they're not the ones who are, I hate to use the word helicopter parent because you're too old for that, but they're not directly involved in their children's daily routine. They're the ones that move close enough to be involved, but they have their own lifestyle and independence. And the one reason that people start looking in Denton County, you can find communities that offer lots of access to healthcare. There's parks and walking trails everywhere. There's community events and activities if you want to do that. Most of these towns have music events going on the weekends during the summertime. And there's always this strong sense of connection. And perhaps, if I were to say something more importantly, can be often enough for, you can go to a last minute dinner invitation where you're not feeling you're on top of each other. You can find a parking space, which you can't necessarily do sometimes in the city or in Dallas. By the way, if you're considering about moving to North Texas and you're helping your parents figure out whether or not this would be the right move, I'd like to really know in the comments, because your biggest concern about having your parents relocate. Is it the leaving the friends? Is it the community? Is it being closer to the grandkids? Really like to hear what's on your mind. And if we haven't met, I'm Chris Hooper. And on this channel, I try to help people to understand what it's really like to live in North Texas so that they can be confident about their move. We can find the house and the square footage and all that stuff wherever. It's not about the house, it's about the lifestyle. It's about moving here and understanding and being comfortable with that transition. Now, I want to bring up why Denton County keeps coming up in a lot of lists. Why do people choose Denton County? Well, Flower Mound, where I live, there's Highland Village, there's Argyle, there's the city of Denton. There's Lake Grapevine on the southern end of Flower Mound, but there's lakes and trails, and there's town centers just everywhere. And one of the biggest advantages I see that I've experienced is that Denton County has a lot of variety. Not everyone wants the same retirement lifestyle. Some people want to be in the suburbs. I'm in not a gated community, but I'm in a community and it has a gated portion. But there, right north of me is Double Oak, where those are all 1 acre lots because that's just the way the town was set up. That might be something that you want. Some people want a quieter environment. Others want restaurants, shopping, and activities to do that are nearby. We're 45 minutes north of Dallas and Fort Worth. But if you want some easy access to the family while still, let me back up, you still want easy access, but you still want to have some space when you're going to be close to your family. And the nice thing with Denton County is there's different communities with different experiences. Louisville is not the same as Flower Mound, which is not the same as Highland Village, and we're all around together. You can enjoy that smaller town, and I got to tell you, people appreciate that balance. I know that I do because I think it's cool. You can enjoy a smaller town atmosphere while you can access major amenities, healthcare, transportation options. We're not that far from DFW Airport if you still have to travel. And for a lot of retirees, it's kind of that middle ground that they've been looking for. But before you pack your truck, I have one final question. Just because Denton County doesn't fit for you doesn't mean every city within the county is. And one that I believe gets more attention from retirees than any other is Flower Mound. And it's one of the first places that many consider when they're moving closer to family. Flower Mound just got ranked number 3 by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best places to live in America. And is it actually a good place to retire? Well, the answer depends on what you're looking for. People absolutely love it. Others discover that maybe a nearby community fits them better, like I just mentioned, Highland Village or Double Oak. But the key is understanding what the trade-offs are before making any sort of a decision. And that's what we're going to cover next. And if you're wondering if Flower Mound could be the right place for you in your next chapter, the video coming right up here is Flower Mound a good place to retire? In that video, I'm going to break down some lifestyles and amenities, healthcare access, recreation, pros and cons that retirees really need to know before they move. Because before you choose a home, it's important that you understand you're choosing the right community. And I'll see you in that video.